cold, rainy night, a police officer on patrol woke up to a man who had caught his eye. The man had been standing on a corner for 15 minutes. Strange, particularly in this weather. The man spoke up quickly and reassuringly.
It's all right, officer. I'm just waiting for my friend, Jimmy Wells.
The officer looked surprised. The man laughed.
You see, we made this appointment 20 years ago, before I headed for the West.
He went on to explain that on the night they parted, they promised each other that if they were still alive after 20 years, they would meet again here.
We fell right into each other, but soon we lost touch, as I was constantly moving from place to place. But sir, wherever I went, I was always looking forward to this day.
What a true friend you are,
the officer said, offering to light the man's cigar. As the officer struck a match, he saw the man more clearly. A scar near his keen eyes, a square face, and a shiny gold pin with a large shiny diamond on his scarf.
Thanks.
The man paused.
Jimmy was a decent man, and I hope he's done well.
The officer said.
Well, sir, I'm sure you've done well yourself.
The man grinned.
How right you are. Life in the West was tough. I have been competing with some smart guys and taking a few chances. But I did well.
The officer replied.
I have to go. Are you sure you want to wait? It's cold.
The man nodded.
Yes, I believe Jimmy will show up.
The officer bade him good night and left. The man looked at his gold watch, whose hands, made of small diamonds, said 3 minutes to 10. The wind blew harder. The man pulled out his coat collar. The coat was nothing. He had seen much worse. A tall man in a long overcoat and a hat hurried from across the street. He walked straight to the man who had been waiting, paused, and asked,
Is that you, Bob?
Jimmy Wells. I'm so glad to see you,
shouted the man from the west. The tall man gave him a hug.
How has the West treated you, old friend?
Bob said.
It has given me everything I wanted. Now, you will change quite a bit, Jimmy. You look 2 or 3 inches taller. How have you been doing in New York?
Not bad,
said the tall man.
I work for the city government. Bob, let's go somewhere and chat about the old times.
The 2 men walked arm in arm. The man from the west talked proudly about himself. The other man listened with interest. When they came in front of a drugstore that was bright with lights, each man turned to look at each other. The man from the west stopped suddenly and released the other man's arm.
You're not Jimmy Wells,
he shouted with surprise.
20 years is a long time, but not long enough to change the shape of a man's nose.
It sometimes changes a good man into a bad one,
said the tall man, putting his arm on Bob's shoulder.
You are under arrest, Bob. The Chicago police informed us of your coming here. Before we go to the station, here's a note for you. It's from Officer Wells.
The man from the west read the note. His hand trembled.
Bob, I was there on time. When I struck the match, I was finally certain that you were the man wanted robbery in Chicago. Somehow, I couldn't arrest you myself, so I got my colleague to do it, Jimmy.